There was once a man named Antonio who spent his whole life saving up to build his dream home. He chose a piece of land overlooking the sea, a breathtaking view where he imagined spending his evenings watching the sunset over the water. Antonio spared no expense. He chose the finest marble, the best wood, and the most skilled builders. When his house was finished, it was a masterpiece. Shining glass windows, wide balconies, a grand staircase that led down towards the shore. His neighbors would often walk by just to admire it. But one old fisherman who had lived on the coast all of his life came to visit one day and shook his head. He said, "Antonio, your house is beautiful, but your foundation is weak. These shores flood every few years. The storms are fierce. You built on sand." And Antonio politely and patiently said, "Don't worry, this house is strong." Months later, a powerful storm rolled in from the sea, the kind locals said that hadn't been seen in decades. The wind howled like a beast, waves slammed against the shore, and rain poured for hours and hours without mercy. Antonio and his family fled inland, praying that their home would survive. When the storm finally passed, Antonio returned to find devastation. The marble was cracked, the walls had collapsed, and the sea had swallowed up part of his land. His dream home, gone. Not far away, though, stood a small wooden cabin, still standing on rock. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't beautiful, but it was built on solid rock. The old fisherman stood outside, quietly repairing a shutter. Antonio approached him, humbled, and said, "How did your house survive when mine didn't?" The old man smiled and replied, "I didn't build my house for sunny days, Antonio. I built it for storms." This story could be about our own lives. Many of us build our houses, our lives, on things that seem solid: success, comfort, possessions, even health or reputation. But then when storms come, illness, loss, failure, disappointment, betrayal, and in these moments we discover whether our faith is built on sand or on rock. And that's exactly what Jesus was teaching in his gospel today. The disciples were admiring the beauty of the temple, a structure so magnificent that it was considered one of the wonders of the world in the ancient world. But Jesus tells them, the days will come when there will not be left a stone upon a stone. Everything seems permanent in this world can fall apart except one thing: our faith that stands firm in God. Then Jesus describes troubling signs: wars, earthquakes, plagues, persecution, betrayal, storms in life in every generation. But he says, do not be terrified. And later, by your perseverance, you will secure your lives. Notice something important. Jesus doesn't promise that his followers, that they will be spared hardship. Instead, he promises his presence. I myself shall give you the words of wisdom. In other words, he doesn't remove the storm, but he stands with us in the storm. He doesn't stop the wave, but teaches us how to stand on rock. Every one of us has seen temples in our life fall. Maybe a dream that didn't work out, a loved one lost, a friendship broken, or a future plan that had collapsed. But these painful moments reveal something beautiful. Whether we build our lives for sunny days or for the storms. If our peace depends totally on everything going right, we will crumble when they go wrong. But if our peace is rooted in Christ, no storm, no loss, no failure, no suffering can destroy us. Today's gospel invites us to ask, what is the foundation of my life? When trouble comes, do I panic? Do I hold fast to Christ, trusting that he has already overcome the world? The destruction of the temple was not the end. It was the beginning of something greater. God's presence no longer is limited to the stone walls, but to dwelling in human hearts. Likewise, when our own temples fall, it may seem like the end, but it's often God's way of building something deeper, truer, and lasting for us. So remember Antonio's story. Remember the storm. Remember the beautiful line from Jesus. By your perseverance, you will secure your lives. Faith built for storms will always stand firm.